Hi guys, I'm right across the street from cheny, the one of the thermal baths in Budapest. I know there are at least two touristy ones. I think there are others, and I have since learned that there are baths all over Hungary. But I didn't know they were here before I got here. I'm not really the kind of person who researches places before I go there, so I just kind of discover what's there and what people are talking about when I arrive. And this has been a place that I found out about and have been thinking maybe it would be cool to go, but since I didn't know it was here, I didn't bring a swimsuit, and I didn't want to go buy a new swimsuit because it would just use up so much of my energy going swimsuit shopping. I don't know if you can even find swimsuits at this time of year, and I didn't want to spend money on anything like that. Like, I was like, if I don't know, like if I didn't want to spend money on like a cheap swimsuit that I don't like, and I also don't want to spend a lot of money on a nice swimsuit that I do like. So I just decided I wasn't gonna go. I'll wait till I get back to Germany and see if any of my swimsuits actually still fit. If I can manage to squeeze into at least one of them, then I can go sometime in the future when I'm here again. But I found out apparently you can rent swimsuits. I'm not sure how that works, so I decided to come out and at least see if that's really an option. And yeah, so I'm not totally sure if I'm gonna get in, if they actually have swimsuits, or if there's any other requirements like a swim cap or something that I need. But yeah, I've basically spent like the last week and a half yeah, I would say like since I stopped going to class, it's been 2 weeks already, and I've been trying to think of what I've done in this time, and I can't really think of anything. Like, I've been out briefly a couple times, but for the most part I've been spending my days entirely in bed, and every day I wake up hoping to feel better so that I can finally make it here, and every day I end up just stuck in bed. So at the very least I finally got up and managed to come and check it out. Okay, so it has been, I don't even know how long since I went to cheny, but I never recorded an update when I left because I felt like leaving after an hour, and I ended up staying quite a bit longer, so I was really burnt out by the time I left. It was also dark because it's getting dark really early, and I couldn't record as I was leaving, and then by the time I got back to the hostel, not only did I not have the room to myself, but I also needed to rest for a few days, and I just didn't get around to recording immediately after that. But yeah, it was, let's see, I went in, I got my ticket. I told them I wanted 2 hours, and then they ask if you want a cabin or a locker, and I said a locker. Then I go in, they say that slippers are mandatory. By slippers, they mean like flip-flops or sandals or something. And I needed to rent a swimsuit and a towel, and when I was buying the ticket outside, they were like, do you want the package where you can get like a bathrobe too? And I said no, and the lady just looked kind of like skeptical at me, like, okay. So then I go in, I got, I needed the swimsuit and the towel. I got the slippers because it said they were mandatory. And then I go to the locker. I get dressed. I go out into this area where there's like this whole long hallway with a whole bunch of pools, and there's like different, it's sort of like different rooms with pools, but they're very open. Like you could look straight down this hall and you see like 6 pools or something. And then kind of like scattered along this long hallway are different saunas, and the water in the pools was different temperatures. They had different kinds of saunas where they were like different temperatures, or one with light or one with smell. So there was some variety in there. I guess I expected something like a hot tub where they had like jets that massage you. There was nothing like that. And I'm just looking at these pools, and it just looks like this kind of dull swimming pool. It doesn't look like anything really special. And I'm like walking back and forth down this hall several times. I can't even decide where to go. Because I'm thinking I only have 2 hours. I don't want to waste my time. I want to make sure I've seen everything before I choose which pool to get in. I already wasn't feeling well anyway. And then finally I find the door that goes outside, and there are these 2 big outdoor, what are they called? Like wading pools, where you can, like, there's stairs and you can kind of like walk in and just stand around, and they've got like jets that like massage you. And then in between those 2 pools there's a lap pool. And I went outside. It was about 15 degrees at the time. I was glad that I had my glasses, because all of the towels looked the same, but at least since I had my glasses on top of the towel, I knew which one was mine. So I got into the pool briefly. It was nice, like the temperature of the water was nice, so you don't feel cold at all. And it was warm enough outside that it wasn't so bad, but I'm also kind of used to colder temperatures, where being in Budapest feels kind of warm compared to what I'm used to. And then I went down and got in the other side that's sort of like the mirror image almost. At that point, of course, my towel was kind of wet, and then after that I went across to the other side where they've got the food, and there's sort of like the people guarding the exit, and I could see the gift shop was there, but you can't get to the gift shop without exiting the bath, which for me was kind of strange because I entered on the opposite side. And if I went back to my locker and got dressed, then the only way that I could get to the gift shop would be to exit the bath and walk all the way around the outside of the building, because there's really no way to get across the inside without going through like this room with all the pools, and then to exit you have to walk through this area where like there's water on the ground to like clean your feet. So like unless I had gotten dressed, rolled my pants up, and carried my shoes, there really would have been no way for me to get to that side of the building through the inside. And I mean, you can't go entirely inside anyways, because you have to walk outside and walk past these outdoor pools to get there. Like you can't just go through the building. So then I was asking if there's any way that I could check with like the watch they gave me, if I could see how much time I had left. And like there's this like panel on the wall you can hold it up to, and I thought maybe it would tell me how much time I have left. And they said if you get a locker, that means you've paid for a day pass. So I went back to my locker to check my receipt, and sure enough, I did have a day pass. I had no idea I would have left. And yeah, and then I think it wasn't until that point that I actually did get in the indoor pools, and I kind of like moved around and tried them out. And then I was really feeling very miserable a lot of the time that I was in the indoor pools. I was sort of like laying down in the pool, trying to rest as much as possible. I did go into some of the saunas for a few minutes, which I really didn't think I was going to do at all because that just totally zaps my energy. But I felt okay. It was nice. But then I just was like really achy and not feeling well at all, and I really wanted to leave. But I was thinking, like, I want to get my money's worth. I want to stay as long as possible. So I went over to the cafeteria. I got something to eat, and I ate very slowly to try to give myself a chance to rest while I was eating. And once I ate, I was feeling a little bit better, and I thought, okay, I've already spent my money eating here. And then when you go past the outdoor pools, back inside, on the left there's this long hallway of pools. On the right there's this other pool that's kind of like hidden, and that one looks really nice because it's got these really nice pillars and they're a different color, and that was kind of more what I was expecting to see. So I decided to go back, put my bank card and my phone up, and go back and try this pool out. So I sat in there for a little while. I think by the time I finished my food, it was like just at 2 hours. Like I could have left in less than 2 hours, and I mean, in the beginning I was like so stressed about the time, but actually felt like it was an immensely long time because I wasn't feeling well, but really it wasn't that long. And then after I checked out that last room and kind of like wandered around the building a little bit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. When I went to exit, I wanted to give the towel back because it was like really thin and you know, not really special enough to keep it as a souvenir. And I figured if I managed to come back again, I would rather bring my own towel that's a bit thicker than rent one from them again. I decided to keep the swimsuit though, because I think even if I was able to check the ones I have in Germany, they're probably all too small. And I'm not sure if this is actually the case. Thinking maybe if I did make it back again, I could wear the swimsuit one more time and then only pay the rental fee once and then maybe return it and get the deposit back at that point. Chances are that's not possible. You probably have to return it the same day, I'm not sure. But when I brought it back, I was ready to give back the towel and the slippers. And these slippers are like this hard plastic. It was really like on my left foot, it was really rubbing on my big toe. And I mean, to the point where like I was struggling to walk with them, and finally I took them off. So I definitely did not want to keep them. I still have like a scratch or scar from that. So I go into the room where the lady's sitting to give it back, and she said something like, "No slippers you keep," or something, and like it sounded like she's saying like I couldn't give them back. And then she said something like, "Put the towel in there and give me that." So I thought she's saying, you know, you put the towel in this basket and give her the slippers. So I put the towel in the basket. The slippers, I put them back or in this plastic bag that I got them in. and I put them on the counter in front of her glass window, and she's immediately pushed them off so that they fall onto the ground. I was just like, whoa, okay. And then she asked to see my receipt to give me back the deposit for the towel, and she sees the swimsuit on it. She asked if I'm not giving it back, and I'm kind of explaining that I'm thinking I can give it back another day, but I don't know if she really understood because I didn't really get an answer. And yeah, basically the slippers, I guess, are yours to keep once you pay for them. So yeah, if I had known that they were going to be so uncomfortable and that I could get away without them, I definitely would not have paid for them. When I exited, I went to the info point to ask about the medical facilities they have, because there's a lot of really cool things that they offer that are all listed in the brochure that it is translated into all these different languages that are only available with a prescription. So I asked about that, and they're like, well, do you live here? I said yes. So then they tell me, go down this hall, you talk to the person who's in charge of the medical side. And she said, you get a normal prescription from your doctor, looks like any other, and then there's this form your doctor has with a picture of a person's body outline, and the doctor circles where you have pain, and you can get a prescription for it. I really wanted to go to the doctor here so that I could find out how easy it was to get, and if I had to pay for it, and if I would pay the same with German insurance as with Hungarian, if it's worth it for me to even get Hungarian insurance. But I tried to go to the doctor. There was this doctor's office really close by. Apparently there's a nice doctor there who is there on certain days and speaks English, but whoever answers the phone doesn't speak English, and when I went there I couldn't figure out what doorbell to ring to get them to open the door. So I called them to try and explain that I'm outside and I need them to open the door because I can't figure out how to get in, and the lady's just sorry, I only speak Hungarian. It was last Tuesday when I went, and today's Friday, so I mean I've had a week and a half, but I was resting for several days after that, and I haven't managed, and it's just since I'm leaving and I don't know if I'm coming back, it's a lot of energy to put into that, and possibly for nothing. But I really would like to have known before I left, but hopefully if I can manage to come back, I can explore that option in the future, because I would really like to see the other stuff they have, and I think that would be a lot more exciting than what they have open to